everyone, and welcome to the August 2019 commencement exercises for DeVry University's Keller Graduate School of Management. Please be seated. I'm Amy King, Group President for the Central Region of DeVry University, and it is such an honor for me to welcome you today on behalf of the faculty and staff of our campuses and our online programs. We are so proud of the accomplishments of the graduates who are here today, as they will join an esteemed group of alumni spanning our 88 years of history. So graduates, let me hear you. Who's excited to be here today? Being here today means you've completed a multi-year journey which requires many things: perseverance, exceptional time management, overcoming challenges. I'd like you to think back, were there times along the way you felt the journey would never end? Yeah? Well, you made it. Today's your day. As we begin our ceremony today, just a few reminders. At this time, I would like to ask everyone as a courtesy to please silence your cell phones. And as you capture the moments today on your phones and share on social media, we have a special hashtag #KellerProud. Also on Snapchat, you can swipe right for our special commencement filter, Keller Grad, which I'm really happy to say my son taught me how to use. Anyone have your kids teach you technology? It's exciting. Yeah. In the spirit of sharing gratitude today for our family and friends, I'd like to take a moment to recognize the families and friends of our graduates, including the sons and daughters of our graduates. Thank you all for joining us today and for the tremendous support you've given these remarkable students to make today possible. Graduates, let's give them a round of applause. In a symbol of respect to our nation's service members, I'd like to ask the graduates who currently serve or who have served in the armed forces to please stand and be recognized and remain standing. And now to join them standing with the friends, family members, staff, and faculty who currently serve or who have served in the armed forces, please stand and be recognized. Thank you all for your tremendous service. And now I'd like to ask everyone to stand for the national anthem presented by DeVry University's very own Student Support Advisor, Stacy Fox-Uwadaway, and Senior Executive Advisor, Christine Ridge.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rockets' red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the
Whew, I've got goosebumps. They're so good. Amazing. I'm proud to introduce to you next the members of our platform party who I am so privileged and have the honor of working with every day. First, the members of the DeVry University Executive Committee. Next, our Central Region Group Directors. Our Assistant Deans of Academic Excellence. Our Chicagoland location leaders. Our faculty chairs. And our distinguished faculty. And a special thank you to our staff members who are seated throughout the theater and making today possible. These wonderful colleagues support our students every day. I am honored to introduce to you next Bill Caruso, General Counsel and Vice President of Regulatory Affairs.
It is my great pleasure to introduce our keynote speaker, Anna Johannes, Paralympic medalist and graduate of DeVry University. Anna was born without a left hand and forearm due to a birth defect called amniotic band syndrome. Yet it was hardly disabling, as Anna competed on able-bodied swim teams from a young age. After several years of developing her skill, she attended her first Paralympic swim meet in 2004, and in 2012 earned a bronze medal in the London Paralympic Games. While training for the 2016 Rio Games, Anna was working towards her bachelor's degree in business administration and graduated summa cum laude at DeVry University. In 2018, Anna finished her MBA with distinction from DeVry's Keller Graduate School of Management. Anna is now a board member for Adaptive Sports New England, where she advocates for all kids with disabilities to have the same advantages she did. Please give a warm welcome to Anna Johannes.
Hello there. First of all, I've heard a lot of national anthems in my time, a lot of them, and that, goosebumps, tears, I'm a crier, that was amazing. Thank you guys so much for being here. Thank you, distinguished members of the board, faculty, and of course, the class of 2019. I have a few special shout outs before I begin. First, to my dad, who's here today from Virginia. You have always and will always be my inspiration for learning. Growing up, you helped me understand why math needed letters, even though I consistently fought you on it. You always had the answers to any of my random questions before Alexa was invented. You are just an all-around Renaissance man. And I'm so lucky to have you in my life. Like I said, I'm a crier, I apologize. Second, to all the amazing staff who I couldn't have done any of this without. To my first counselor here at DeVry, Diana, who helped me finish statistics during the flu. a concussion and a nasty fall, to Christina for signing up for all my courses and listening to my panicked voice messages I would leave at 11 p.m. on Sunday nights about how hard managerial accounting was, even the second time around. To Amanda, who set up every master's degree class for me so I had an exact plan on how I was going to go back to school. And lastly, to the Career Services Department, who assisted with my resume building and practice interviews. Thank you so, so much. Now, we have all been brought to this point in our lives for many different reasons. It's kind of like those commercial breaks that are like, Friends, brought to you by. So today I have been brought to you by definitions and basements. So let me explain. Right out of the gate, I was born with one hand in a third world country in a small town and was defined as different, as incomplete. It was written in stone that I would not be adopted. But by all odds, two people who were destined to be my parents made the trip halfway around the world to adopt me. And I was brought to the United States. Through being completely oblivious and being encompassed by love, I never really thought of myself as disabled. And my parents made no point to tell me. I'm sure at times they defined me as stubborn, dramatic, feisty, but never disabled. When I was around 5 years old, I found out that I loved swimming, and swimming ended up loving me. Fun fact, swimming is mostly an upper body sport, so again, people, because of what they thought they saw and what they thought they would define me, they would told me maybe I'd be better at ballet or soccer, but I was never very good at listening. But because of a mother who always fought for me, and being lucky, with coaches who never coddled me, even though sometimes I wish they would, I began to rise in my swimming career. I got to prove at every time I went to a meet that I belonged there, and I could even kick some butt. I had all the normal thoughts that ran through a growing child's mind. I wanted to be a marine biologist and swim with the dolphins every day, because that's what I assumed that they did. I ran around with the boys and was constantly proving I could do more than what was expected of me. And because of this mindset, I have broken several bones along the way. For example, I tried to do the monkey bars with my friends, but I swung around, broke both the bones in my forearm, and the reason I was up there in the first place is because before anyone asked me, I was put on the sidelines, and I had to watch all my classmates do the monkey bars without me. So I only got to the third rung, but I count it. So the definition of disabled came around again. Then I got to high school, and I started to have all the normal thoughts a teenager girl has. Wondering about who likes me and who doesn't, and oh dear Lord, what is that on my face? And wondering about my definition, but the definition of disabled always hid around in the shadows. Then I got out to the Olympic Training Center to train with the Paralympic resident team, where being defined as disabled was a good thing. And it put me in a group of amazing people. We worked our butts off, and most of us earned our spots on the 2012 London Paralympic team, where I was ecstatic to earn a bronze medal. And yes, I cried a lot during that too. After all of that, I got back to work and started training for Rio. But then, because I'm quite literally a fish out of water, I slipped and fell on ice, causing me to sublux or dislocate my shoulder and get a concussion in the process. Little did I know, I actually tore a ligament, and I continued to swim on this for about 8 months. Once I figured that out, I had to have my first surgery. My new definition was injured. I fought like hell just to be able to raise my arm over my head again. From there, I worked with my home team, Machine Aquatics, incredible collegiate athletes, and one of the best coaches I've ever known, and an even closer friend, Chuck. I just wasn't quite myself, though. In March 2016, I had to have my second surgery, which unfortunately was career-ending. From 5 years old to 22, I defined myself as a swimmer. And then in one day, in one OR, and in one slice, I wasn't. It's like starting from scratch. It's like being dropped in another universe where I had to completely redefine myself in a society that I was not prepared for. Which brings me to my basements. One of my coaches loved the expression, "You can't fall out of a basement," which means you can't get any lower from here. And I found my new basement. I had to retire from competing, figure out how to eat like a normal human being, how to find new strength within my person instead of just my body, and finish my work at DeVry's University. I had to completely redefine who I was as a person, and it nearly broke me. But the good news is that you can fill in those basements with a foundation. I finished my undergraduate work 1 month after getting my first real-world job. I had filled in my basement with a degree and a job for my resume. I couldn't fall out of that basement. Since then, I have continued to work on that foundation. We have all had to do this. We all know that to be successful, success itself has to be a habit. What I want to make clear today is that with this habit of hard work, dedication, and success, you have built a foundation to be ever defined as a graduate. By completing your degree at DeVry's University and Keller Graduate School, you have created a launching pad for your future that no one can take away from you. Through all of this, what I figured out is that I get to decide how I'm defined. People may see me a certain way, or may see you a certain way, but I know who I am and how hard I've worked, and I know that I can't fall out of my basement. So my closing thoughts are, what will you let define you? I focused so much on what others thought of me that I didn't think about what would happen if I got to choose. So make sure from now on, you choose. You get to choose what happens next. And know that no matter what happens, you have stamped your ticket to success and will only go up from here. Congratulations, class of 2019.
Thank you, Anna. To recognize the academic achievements of our graduates and present the candidates for graduation, please give a warm welcome to Tim Zorick, Group Dean of Academic Excellence for the Central Region of DeVry University.
Good morning. I would like to recognize our Honor Society chapters and the academic excellence which they promote. You will find the honors designations and the meaning of the honors course indicated in your program. Would all graduates who are members of an academic honor society please stand to be recognized? And now, the moment you've been waiting for, the awarding of the degrees to our graduates. So that all names of graduates can be heard, we ask that you please hold your applause to the end. I would like to present to you the candidates' master's degree in the College of Business and Management. Candidates, please come forward to receive your degree.
Now presenting Master of Accounting and Financial Management, Yetta Ademi with distinction. Rebecca Bassel with distinction. here. Kimberly Carpenter with distinction. Rosetta Childs. Elena Gregoria with distinction. Gio Ibardalazo, close enough? Thank you. With distinction. Agata Lebedsky with distinction. Michelle Lanza with distinction. Anna Redderer. Felix Rivera. Asrabek Azadov with distinction. Now presenting Master of Science in Accounting. Mary Ellen Aguilar with distinction. Alex Altador with distinction. Jeremy Desardin. Delini Iliparuma with distinction. April Jackson. Nicole Poe. Jonathan Randolph. Adam Rashid. Janita McChristian. Mila Sedevnikova with distinction. Erica Salas with distinction. Shanta Stewart with distinction. Abdallah Shuaibi. Roberto Villanueva. Rochelle West with distinction. Aisha Abba with distinction. Shirley Nita Ajay. Now presenting Masters of Business Administration. Hassan Ahmed with distinction. Mohammed Al-Daboub. Kiera Alexander. David L. Allen Jr. Alitza Aptisheva with distinction. Zobia Arif with distinction. Sharon Asher Hall. Stacy Banks. Brady Benning with distinction. Jacqueline Benitez. Christopher Bernal, with distinction. Dante Bernal, with distinction. Sierra Jackson. Renee Bowman. Monique Bradley, with distinction. Alexis Bridgeforth. Carl Broadwater, with distinction. Aaron Butler, with distinction. Candido Cabrera. Sherwin Kalara. Jessica Carreno. Luis Castro, with distinction. Christy Sapero Rangel, with distinction. Ishtar Chalabi, with distinction. Vanessa Shibawa, with distinction. Latavia Coleman. James Coney, with distinction. Barry Crawford, with distinction. Caroline Curry. Bilal Daoud. Jennifer Johnson Davis, with distinction. Andrea Kirkland Anderson. Heather DeBus. Colleen Devaney, with distinction. Mohammed Dina, with distinction. Saif Divani, Masters of Business Administration. Evelina Gigits, with distinction. Paul Yabue, with distinction. Raquel Emerson, with distinction. Elizabeth Engler, with distinction. Olga Francois Ham, with distinction. Nicholas Frato. Rodney Gaither. Burnell Gatlin, Jr. Natalia Giralia, with distinction. Mary Angeles Gomez, with distinction. John Guido. Quintina Harris, with distinction. Jim Harwood, with distinction. Nair Hassan. Ramsey Haynes, with distinction. Takira. That's my writing. Takira Hill, with distinction. Patricia Hoffman. Norris Holmes. Janisha Ivory, with distinction. Nicole D. James. Brianna Johnson. Glenn Johnson, with distinction. Ibiwami Joseph, with distinction. Mazen Fauzi Juma, with distinction. Rajiv Kandala, with distinction. Uday Karna, with distinction. Adam Kaznick, with distinction. Alan Katama, with distinction. Gurdeep Kaur, with distinction. Samir Wail Kawash, with distinction. Alexis Elaine King, with distinction. Fallon King. Nathaniel Kingley, with distinction. Christine Koch, with distinction. Michael Kozlowski, with distinction. Amanda Kratz. Joseph Kuta, with distinction. Marisol Leva. Tremaine Lockhart, with distinction. Zenilu, with distinction. Stephanie Lynch, with distinction. Samantha Madella. Patrice March, with distinction. Joseph Matveyev, with distinction. Regina McCary, with distinction. Lauren McCorkle, with distinction. Madhipali Kapana, with distinction. Brittany Meister, with distinction. Jamie Mahaya. Samantha Merritt. Brandon Moore. Erin Marie Murdoch with distinction. Julie Oakley with distinction. Daniel O'Donnell with distinction. Jonathan Palmer. Samar Parker. Bhavisha Patel with distinction. Divyesh Patel with distinction. Namisha Patel. Vishal Patel with distinction. Latreya Payne. Alina Pasniak with distinction. Kimberly Purdue with distinction. Rodolfo Perez. Joseph Plazik. Rosalinda Popaka. Esther Radiovejovic with distinction. Raquel Ramirez. Jason Raymond with distinction. Fred Reynolds with distinction. Margarito Romero with distinction. Maria Romero. Nicole Rutkowski with distinction. Mark Rybicki with distinction. Yamini Sabarwal with distinction. Ricky Salcedo. Chastity Rogers. Brandon Salad with distinction. Monica Samuel. Dawn Sandecki with distinction. Santana Sandoval. Afton Scarborough. Susan Schendel with distinction. Agnieszka Senya. Nadawat Sesatesanant. Kalpana Sharma with distinction. Diane Simpson with distinction. Kathy Slomka with distinction. Allison Page Smith. Oksana Solovey, with distinction. Makita Stevenson, with distinction. Manuel Tate. Cassandra Taylor. Sirapong Tangkarnasakon, with distinction. David Babaloa, with distinction. Zach Thomas. Who's following that up? Ashley Thompson. Church Toachob. Ois Vaid. Jack Vu. Rosie Wang. Tyler Wade, with distinction. Sabrina Walker. Adam Williams, with distinction. Angel Williams. Kwame Williams. Deanna Wilson. Olivia Young, with distinction. Nicholas Zalis, with distinction. Syed Umar Zaman. Antonio Zamora. Victoria Zoniak, with distinction. Ahmed Abu Swalem. Anna Johannes. Now presenting Master of Human Resource Management, Ruby Alter. Sandra Author, with distinction. Norma Camacho, with distinction. Rosara Duran, with distinction. Norman Gibson. Melissa Hubert, with distinction. Carol Hewlett, with distinction. Nataki Johnson. Rihanna Johnson, with distinction. Kimberly Keck, with distinction. Henry Kelly, with distinction. Devin King, with distinction. Lindsay Latrell Foster, with distinction. Natalia Peralta. Jovan Roberson. Keisha Sanders, with distinction. Kirsten Sturgill. Tusif Vahora, with distinction. Cynthia Cease, with distinction. Now presenting Master of Project Management, Jasmine Anasarius. Catalina Escobedo Ramirez. Corey Evans. Duran Hodges. Shalia Lucky, with distinction. Michelle Mendez. Andreina Ochoa. Juan Ortega, with distinction. Naeem Patel, with distinction. Julio Romero. Carlotta Stewart. Lida Edmund Yakub, with distinction. Now presenting Master of Public Administration, Kara Coleman. Melissa Daniluk. Rhonda Frazier, with distinction. Kristen Johnson, with distinction. Tracy Jones. Brittany Kayet, with distinction. Tamideoa Lafenwo. Latricia Say, with distinction. Brandy Smith, with distinction. Rayshawna Thomas. Orkontuya Zorikta Bator.
I now present to you the candidates for master's degree in the College of Engineering and Information Sciences and the College of Liberal Arts and Sciences. Candidates, please come forward to receive your degree.
Now presenting the College of Engineering and Information Sciences, Master of Information Systems Management, Aaron Belay, with distinction. Kit Mindu. Luke Fry. Charles Green. Alan Griffin. Chris Korybowski. Brandon Latinwo Jones. Bolin Modziluski. Felix Montedoesca, Jr. Gustavo Reyes. Smitha Rakesh, with distinction. Now presenting the Master of Network and Communications Management. Mohammed Al-Shaga, with distinction. Andrew Egger. Kartik Babu Manam. Akbar Muhammad. Sajil Muhammad Muzaffar, with distinction. Danny Price. Ayman M. Razik. Nathaniel Weathers, with distinction. Preston Wilson. Asima Dyazembikova.
Will all graduates please rise? By virtue of the authority vested by DeVry University's Keller Graduate School of Management, I confer upon each of you the respective academic degree for which you have been recommended, with all the rights, privileges, responsibility, and obligations pertaining thereunto. And I offer you my sincere congratulations. It's time to move your tassels from the right side to the center side to turn your class rings around. If you ever forget what side your tassel goes on, remember that you wear it on the side of your heart to remind you of your alma mater. In addition to earning the degree conferred upon you today, you have earned the rights to be associated with a very special group of individuals. You can now call yourselves alumni of DeVry University's Keller Graduate School of Management. Graduates, Graduates, please turn, face the audience, and receive your recognition.
a nice cadence. Graduates, thank you so much again for giving us the privilege of working with you and for joining us today with your friends and family to celebrate your amazing achievements. We wish you a lifetime of joy and success. Family and friends, we ask that you please remain in your places until the graduates have exited the auditorium. Have a wonderful day and savor this day of celebration. Thank you so much.